Okay, let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about a platform that's trying to solve one of the biggest headaches for any entrepreneur, getting funded. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down Fundvestor. We'll look at the massive problem it was built to solve, see how its AI platform actually works, and figure out why it just might be a total game changer for entrepreneurs in Africa and maybe even beyond.
You know, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It really gets to the heart of the problem. For so many brilliant founders, especially in emerging markets, having an amazing business idea just isn't enough. The system often feels like this exclusive club, where getting capital depends on your personal network, not just how strong your company is. And that leaves countless incredible ideas just sitting on the shelf.
And that's the big question, right? What if technology could just cut through all the noise, all the networks, and connect great founders directly with the right investors, based purely on data and potential? This is the very promise we're going to explore today.
So before we jump into the solution, it is absolutely crucial that we understand the sheer scale of the problem. We're going to start by taking a look at the unique and often complex funding challenges across the African continent. It's like a labyrinth.
Now, this slide here maps out the barriers, and it's not just one thing, it's this whole tangled web of challenges. You've got fragmented markets, right? So an investor in one country has basically zero visibility into what's happening in another. Then there's this term information asymmetry, which really just means founders know things that investors don't, and that gap creates a huge lack of trust. It all boils down to weak links, limited access, and absolutely no standardization.
And the scale of this, it's just staggering. We're not talking about a kind of difficult market. We're talking about an SME financing gap that's estimated to be over $300 billion across the continent. So the capital is out there, and the brilliant ideas are on the ground. But the bridge connecting them, it's broken.
And this is where the protagonist of our story comes in. Fundvestor was designed from the ground up to tackle these exact structural problems we've just laid out.
So what is it? Well, the best way to think of it is as a digital bridge. It uses artificial intelligence to do two things really, really well. First, it helps entrepreneurs get investment ready. And second, it matches them with investors who are specifically looking for their kind of business. The whole goal is to make the process smooth, transparent, and totally data-driven. This chart just illustrates the shift perfectly. The old way is all about who you know. It's murky, it's exclusive. Fundvestor wants to replace that with a system based on what you've actually built. It uses data to make decisions, transparency to build trust, and an open platform to give access to everyone, no matter who's in their phone book. Okay, so that's the what and the why. Now let's get into the how. How does this digital bridge actually work for a founder or, for that matter, an investor? If you're a founder, the journey is super clear. First, you get what they call a fundability score. And this isn't just some random number. It's a data-driven look at things like your team, your market size, your traction. It tells you exactly where you stand. Then, you use the platform's tools to fix your weak spots. And only then does the AI start matching you with investors who've already said they're interested in your specific sector and stage. And here's a key point. It's not just a two-way street between founders and investors. The platform is really designed for the entire startup ecosystem. We're talking accelerators, incubators, development organizations. They can all use it to help their startups get access to capital way more efficiently. It creates this powerful network effect. This brings us to what might just be the most powerful part of this whole model. You see, Fundvestor's real long-term value goes way beyond just matchmaking. It's about becoming a critical data engine for a market that is desperately, desperately in need of one. I mean, think about it. In a lot of these markets, reliable data on what makes a startup successful is incredibly hard to find. By processing thousands of applications and tracking what happens, the platform starts to build this unprecedented layer of intelligence for the entire investment landscape. And this is exactly how data builds trust. For founders, benchmarking shows them what metrics they actually need to hit. For investors, risk modeling helps them make smarter, more confident bets. And for everybody, the ecosystem insights can point out where the real opportunities and gaps are. It's a virtuous cycle, right? More data leads to better matches, which leads to more success stories, which, you guessed it, generates even more data. Of course, a vision this ambitious is never easy to pull off, so it's really important to have a balanced view of the road ahead and acknowledge both the real-world hurdles and the frankly immense opportunities. The opportunities are huge,
massive untapped markets, a global diaspora that's eager to invest back home, and super high mobile adoption that makes a digital platform like this really scalable. But the challenges are just as real. Navigating complex regulations in dozens of different countries and making sure the data is actually accurate. Those are big hurdles. And maybe the biggest challenge of all is building that initial trust from both sides in a market that has historically been so opaque. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like for one person? Let's bring this down from the 30,000-foot view and walk through a real-world example to see the impact.
Let's just picture this for a second. A young entrepreneur in Ghana. She's built an absolutely incredible social enterprise using tech to help small farmers. It's a business with massive potential, both for impact and for profit. But here's her problem. She isn't in a major capital city like Accra or Lagos or Nairobi. She doesn't have any connections to the big VC funds. In the old system, her journey might just end right there. But on a platform like Fundvestor, her story completely changes. She uploads her business plan and gets her score. The AI points out some weaknesses in her financial model, so she uses the tools, gets the feedback, and polishes her pitch deck until it's absolutely world-class. And then the magic happens. The connection is made. The algorithm doesn't just show her profile to some random investor. It surfaces her profile to a specific impact fund in Europe whose entire mission is to invest in early-stage African agritech. That digital bridge connects a brilliant idea in Kumasi directly with aligned capital in Berlin. And that one story, that right there, encapsulates the entire vision. It's about tearing down geographic barriers and old-going networks to make the funding process fair and efficient for every single entrepreneur everywhere. And that leaves us with a final, really powerful question. The challenges are real, no doubt about it, but the potential is just undeniable. By solving this fundamental problem of access and information, can a single data-driven platform truly help unlock the entrepreneurial potential of an entire continent? That's the billion-dollar question that Fundvestor is trying to answer.